Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me on this video on how you can create a simple 2D platformer inside of Unreal Engine with the most basic setup you can imagine. Now, I have to tell you that this is going to be a really simple game, but it's going to be a video game nonetheless, using all of your custom content and using elements that you import in the game and set up across the basic 2D scroll template that you can get from the starter content, and then customize it to kind of get it to have those elements of a video game that I'm going to explain in a moment or two. So once again, it's going to be a really simple game, but still it's going to be a fully developed, fully conceptualized and created game at the same time. Now, a small introduction into game design as a whole. A video game is basically an interactive system that has a purposeful process inside of it. So for example, if you have an old-fashioned book that you can read and have different ways of ending the story, you have an interactive system, but you don't have any kind of a direct purpose that you want to fulfill, except getting to the end, but that's the purpose of any book. On the other hand, if you have, for example, some kind of system where you have a purpose of doing something, for example, you want to drink 10 liters of water per day, which would be a lot of water, so don't do that. But in theory, if you want to do that, you'll still have a purpose, but you can call that a game. Instead, a game is a process, a video game more precisely, that encompasses both things, both the process of having a kind of a purpose to your action and taking place of the same purpose or setting the same purpose in an interactive system. That's a video game. In the case of this 2D platformer that we're going to create, we'll have the same purpose. It's going to be really simple. Reach the top platform. We'll create a new platform or a set of new platforms, not these. We're going to add custom platforms. And once the player character manages to reach the top platform, they win the game. They manage to win. So you have your win condition. On the other hand, when they fall down and miss a platform and fall below a certain point, they lose the game. So that's your lose condition. And now you have all of the necessary elements for a video game. That is an interactive system with a purpose that has its win condition and lose condition. With that said, we're going to create the same game from scratch using, again, all of my custom content in this case, and a simple set of blueprints, level blueprints, that are going to modify the whole process so that it has a win and lose condition. But the first thing we're going to do is take care of that content. We want to change these platforms, we want to change the background, and we want to change the player character. Now, I already added content by creating a folder here where I added simple texture files, which is background, character, and ground, which is going to be the platform. And I'm going to import all of these as sprites and add them to the level. First, we're gonna change the background, which is the easiest part. You see these small asterisks here, that only means that I didn't save my project. I'm going to save it. They're gone. And I'm going to create this texture back into a sprite. To do that, I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to choose sprite action and create sprite. And here is back sprite. I'm going to now select background sprite and open it up in editor or edit background sprite. Here you see it, and here you see source texture. I'm going to change that to back. And with that, I have my background, which immediately changes. It's a nice light yellowish kind of a background. The second thing I'm going to do is delete all of these platforms and add my one, or the ones I created instead of these. So right now we have 0 platforms, but we have ground, which is texture, and it's going to act as a platform. Again, I'm going to go for sprite action and create sprite. And here I have my ground sprite. Again, I'm going to save it all. And now I'm going to add these to the level in form of those classical blocks that you can use to create your 2D platformer level. However, first of all, I need to set up collisions. So let me just show you that real quick. When I add a platform here, I also need to make sure it's in line with the character, more or less. There is certainly a much easier way to do this, but I'm going to do it like this. It might not be that elegant, but it's going to work still. And here is my character. And immediately when you import a sprite into Unreal, it assigns some collisions to it. Collisions means only that your other objects in the level don't go through these textures or material meshes or whatever, but that they collide with them, that they have kind of solid surfaces. Now let's save this and try it out. And as you can see, my character can move across the same platform, meaning that the collisions are there. However, I can check them out by double clicking on the ground sprite, and I can see here edit collisions. Right now my collisions are set and they're defined here, but if I wanted to add new ones, I could add a box or anything like that. Also, when I edit this box, edit this sprite, the collisions will remain there as well. They will be active, and I could, for example, decrease or increase the same surface, and the collisions will be there nonetheless. So let me show you that. I'm going to copy it simply by copy paste commands like you would do otherwise. And here is my new box, and I can then with the keyboard button R make it larger, and I can move it again, and the collisions will be there. So they're all inside. For example, if I want to create a much smaller object, I can do that as well. And again, collisions are all inside or already present. Now, the last thing I have to do with my kind of level design finished is to change the character. Now this is the default character from the 2D side scroller template, but I'm going to use this guy, a beautiful blocky eyes and body kind of a thing I created in Paint. And of course, before I can do that, I first need to create a sprite. But I then also need to, again on the sprite, click and create a flipbook, which I'm going to call new character. And with that, I have my animation, which isn't actually animation, it's just a single sprite that I can add to the same character and replace the same character so that it can take a different shape and form, not anymore the same form of a 2D side scroll template, but now this guy here. Again, let's go and save all. And now I need to open 2D side scroller character. I can do that from here, edit to the 2D side scroller character. I'm going to dock it so I can see it immediately. And first thing I need to do is change the handle animations. So right here are the animations. I have my handle animation for idle, that's when the character is standing, and my running animation. In this case, my new game that I'm creating, it's going to be the same thing, same flipbook, which is going to be new character. and it's going to be for idle and running at the same time. So it's just going to be a simple kind of pixel, that's a huge pixel, that stands and moves like a block. It's not going to be animated, but it's going to be replaced with the present starter content, character animation and character design. If I go back to the viewport, I have to do the same but with source flipbook. Right now it's idle animation, but I'm going to add a new character, and there you have it. Also, don't forget, always compile with compile and save. And with that, I have my new character. So we can go and try it out. And here it is. It's only sliding around, but it's still working. Now there are some elements of collision that go here. As you can see, I can enter the box. The collisions are not perfectly set up, but they're good enough for this basic building of a 2D platformer. Now we have the whole visual setup. The game is created and it has its character, its custom elements, and everything is basically custom made and brand new. So let's say that the end of the game takes place when I go to this platform, and let's make an additional one. This one can go here, precisely here. Let's see if I can go through this. I think I can, and we'll make another one beyond it here. So when I reach this part here, right here, above the last platform, I win the game. However, if I fall through, I lose the game and I'm back at square one, the level restarts. So right now, I just end the gameplay here, but nothing else happens. I also need to edit my design because I'm falling through, because my upper platform is too close, and I'll need to do something like this and add another platform here. Maybe this will be enough. Let's try it out. Looking good so far. Okay. Yep. And when I reach the top here, I win the game. When I fall, I lose the game. Now, let's see how I can do that and how I can actually add win and lose conditions. Well, first of all, we'll need something that shows the player what happened, even if it's for a split second. And those are going to be widgets. Widgets are things that you can showcase on your screen in form of, for example, text. You can create them by, again, right-clicking, choosing user interface and choosing widget blueprint. And I'm going to call this one win. Again, I need to rename it win, and I need to double click on it, and I'm just going to add a simple text to this widget. This is the thing that is going to get displayed on your level. To edit it, I simply need to enter the text here in text, and I need to drop the same menu so I can increase the font. As you can see, drop down menu font, and let's put it something like this, and I'm going to move it to the middle of the screen. sort of. This is my first widget. This should appear once I reach the top platform. And I have it saved. And now I'm going to create, I can also close this. I can create my other widget, which is lose or fail. Let's call it fail. Every time I fall through the platform and go beyond, let's say, this line here, which I'm going to mark later on. So I'm going to create a copy of the win widget and I'm going to rename it to fail. Again, double click, open it up, text, select it, and just add fail instead of win. Again, compile, save, close. Now the issue is, how can I both showcase win and fail, and also how can I restart the level once my character falls through the gap or one of the other gaps that exists in the level. To do that, first I'll need a simple space that is going to represent the line that once crossed restarts the level. To do that, I'm going to add a trigger volume. Trigger volume is basically, now it's going to be somewhere who knows where. Yeah, let's put him at its place. A trigger volume is a space inside of your level that, simply put, does something once it's interacted with in some manner. This is my trigger volume, and I'm going to again enlarge it so that it covers the whole, let's say, fail area. So it's the entire level. A bit more. And the idea is, once my player character drops through the same space here or below this point here, it restarts the level. You lost and the level is restarted. Now with the selected trigger volume, you need to go to blueprints and op11 blueprint. From here, the first node you'll need to add is on player begin overlap. Here it is, on actor begin overlap, and as you can see, it immediately has trigger volume selected, so it's associated with the trigger volume. From here, the first node we'll use is the node get current level. And from there on out, we're going to use open level, meaning that the same level is going to get open once again, and we're simply going to connect them backwards and create this node. This is the entire process of level restart. So it's not going to be beautiful, but it's going to fulfill its purpose, and I'm going to show you that right now. Again, compile, save. We're going to leave the level blueprint open. Now, once I fall through the same gap, I should get back to the start of the level. And here it is. I need to pull the same triggers volume a bit down so that I have a few more milliseconds of fall time remaining, or perceivable, so that the player knows that they fell, more precisely. So let's try it now. And here we are, we fall, and we're back. Now we just need to add that fail widget to the whole string of nodes. To do that, we're going to add create widget node. Here we're going to select fail. And from here on out, we're just going to add to player screen. Here it is, and we're gonna connect it to itself. So right now it should, for a split second, showcase the title fail, and do it whenever we fall through the crack. And there it is. It's a split second, and it still showcases that you failed to do what you wanted to do, which is not to fail. Now, the last thing we have to do is to basically add the win condition. So we have the lose condition, we have to add the win condition. To do that, again, we're going to use a trigger volume. Again, it's far, far away, and we're going to place it right above the platform. Again, we're going to make it bigger. And we're going to associate it, I need to select it, with a new string of nodes in the level blueprint, which are going to just showcase the win widget and let the players know that they managed to win, that they are actually at the end of the level. Again, trigger volume is selected, and then selected again, selected. And from here, again, we're going to go to the 2D side scroller, level blueprint. Again, we're going to use an on actor begin overlap node here. And as you can see, it's immediately associated with trigger volume 2. I can rename this and name it differently, but this is enough, and it's clear enough what the purpose of the same, or the more precisely what the same association of this node is. From here, we're simply going to do only this element. Create a widget and add one to the player screen. So I can select these, copy them, connect them, and instead of class fail, I'm going to take class win. The target is return value, add to player screen. I should compile and save. And we can test it out. Here is my character. I'm going over it. I'm going across the platforms, and the last platform is here. And here it is. I managed to win the game. So it's really simple, but let's see again when I fail. When I go to this side, and it's fail and level restart. It's a really simple game. It's a really simple setup, but it is a fully defined, fully developed game. Super simple, super easy, but still one that works. Now, of course, there is bunch more things that you can do here that are not in this video, which include, for example, making additional levels. And instead of having this win condition here, the same trigger box is taking the player to the next level, to level 2. Also, there could be things like delays. For example, when you fall through, you don't immediately get restarted, but there is a delay and the camera goes black for a couple of seconds and you're back at square one. All of these things are things that you add to these nodes. As you can see there, the setup here is super simple, super easy, but still it represents a game, a fully developed, fully created, fully custom game. So don't forget, we changed all of the sprites from the original content. I could also easily change the setup of the camera, make the level more visible, and I can do that in just a couple of clicks from editing the player character, side scroller character, and do bunch more things. Of course, the easiest thing here would be to kind of make the same character, the same level more interesting, add flipbook animations that actually allow for running, jumping animation and so forth, make a more complex level and things like that. All of these are more than possible on this very basic, very simple, very easy setup of nodes and blueprints that you can apply. As you saw in my case, I did it in 30 minutes. You can do it even faster. And that would be the basics of a really simple custom 2D side scroller game. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. This was the longest and most complex video I ever did in Unreal Engine. I'm really happy if you stuck through till the very end. I would love to hear what you think. If you have any questions or comments or issues that crop up in your mind, in your projects, please let me know in the comment section below. If I can help, I'll make sure that I pin the same comment so that someone else that is a lot better at Unreal Engine than me can leave you some ideas on what to do. Also, if you want to support my channel, there is a few ways to do that. The easiest way would be to support my I Am Gaming podcast Patreon page, where I create a small gaming podcast where you can give me $1 or $2. I talk about Unreal and gaming and crypto and a whole lot of stuff, all that interests me, and I find them to be in the same kind of realm of business and creative ventures like Unreal after all. And don't forget to subscribe. There are basically new beginner tutorials for Unreal each week, and they're simple, they're easy, but they should be at least somewhat useful to total beginners like myself. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for being here through its entirety, over half an hour. I really appreciate your view time and you sticking through with me until the very end. Again, a like, a share, a subscribe, all are more than welcome. The same goes for supporting me through whatever means you have, including sending me crypto. That's great as well. And that's all. My name is Ivica. Thank you so much for watching and have loads of fun in your Unreal Engine levels. Until my next video, bye bye and have a great day.